Hey guys, Ike here from IkesOutdoors.com. We're here today to do a review on Advanced Archery Design's Drawboard. I've got the Drawboard actually in my bow press, and you're going to have to excuse the mess behind me. I don't usually film this way. But the way I got my shop set up, that's where my Drawboard's set up. So what I've got here is I've got Advanced Archery Design's Drawboard, and I'm putting in my Last Chance Archery Easy Green press, but this will work with anything with a square design to it. And you can see installation was that easy. You can see how quickly I took that out. You got end caps right here on the square tubing of your press. Take your end caps out, slide that in, slide this end in as well, and slide it in the right way helps. And there you go, it's installed. So what is a drawboard and why do you need one? That's the question here. What a drawboard is actually going to do, and we're going to show you, is it's actually going to help you draw the bow without you actually drawing it back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end up putting my bow right here on this, right above the grip, and I'm going to use this end. I'm going to hook this up to my bow, and I'm going to use this crank to actually draw my bow back. So why do you need to draw your bow back? Well, if you're going to do a lot of your tuning, you're going to find you're going to need a drawboard pretty quickly. A drawboard is going to help you to time cams on older bows. It's going to help you time cams on hybrid cams. It's going to help you set draw stops. It's going to help you check cam lean. There's a ton of things that if you're doing your own tuning that a drawboard is going to help you with. Now don't confuse a drawboard with a hooter shooter. This is actually not set up as a hooter shooter. You cannot shoot your bow with this setup the way it actually is. But you can do a lot of things to your bow that are going to be essential with a drawboard. Cam lean is a really hard thing to get right when you're drawing the bow back and you're doing, because you're generally looking up, and when you look up you can have your front hand and you can go like that with it, and you can actually mess up the cam lean. That's one of the big issues that I run into with bows today is setting cam lean on. It's one of the things I do the most often. With the hybrid cams, with Hoyt, Bear, some of these companies like that, you change the draw length, you got to retime the cams. So this will allow you to be able to check the timing on those cams and the position of those cams without actually drawing it back several times. Again, like the Bear has, and my New Breed both, they have dual draw stops, where the cam rotates around and it has a draw stop that hits cable and has a draw stop that hits the limb. So what you can do is you can actually, the cable stop on my Bear is set in a static position where it will not move. So I can set my cable stop, and then I can draw this back, and I can set my limb stops, and with one time of pulling it back, I can set them, I can get them in time. If I don't like the feel, I can bring them back in here and I can move them to the position where I can get the feel or get the timing that I need. So that's what a drawboard is all about and what it's used for. This one is made out of aluminum, and you can see this is well built. It's got a good solid piece of aluminum here that is 3/16 or 1/4 inch. It's pretty thick stuff, and then you got a nice aluminum bar stock, or round stock, I'm sorry, here with a rubber coating over the top of it, rubber hose over the top of it. And as a welder, first thing I look at, you got good welds down here. You got good penetration, no cold lap, no undercut, so good solid welds on there, and it's just a good solid design. And you can put that one in there, you know, multiple ways, but that's pretty much it to the design of that part of the drawboard. Now this part here is a little bit different. This is where your actual cranking mechanism takes place, and there's a couple things that I like about this. One, I can look down in here and I can see that this thing is engaged or it's not engaged. The other thing I really like about it is the machining on it is excellent. Machining on it looks perfect. The other thing I really like about it is it actually has a bearing in there. So when this thing is cranking, or when it's engaged or disengaged, it has a nice, smooth, fluid motion to it. So it is really nice as far as movement goes. It really does come around really nice because of that bearing movement in there. The engagement is easy to do. You can do this with one hand or two. You've got a gold knob right up here to engage this. You just put it in there, twist your knob down, and that'll engage your plastic tab there. And once you click that down, then this thing's going to actually crank. To loosen it up, you can just loosen that up right there, and now you're free to pull that slack. So we're going to show you this thing in the actual. We're going to put it in the drawboard or the press here, and we're going to draw a bow back with it and show you exactly how this thing works. So I'm going to be out of the camera. I can't fit everything into place. Okay, so I'll try to stay out of the way as much as possible and still show you everything we need to show. On my easy green press, depending on your draw length, you may have to run it out a little bit more, but I run mine out to 35, 36 inches, and I've got a 27.5-inch draw length, and that generally will do it for me. If you've got a 30-inch draw length, you probably want to crank your press out even further. So what you'll do is you'll run this into this out, and then we'll take a bow, which we'll use my prime here, and we're just going to put that prime on there just like that. Now with this freed up, we're going to bring it over here. We're actually going to install. We're going to hook this up right to our D-loop using this swivel right here. This is going to allow it to turn freely and not put your string in a bind. We also have a carabiner here that is for a backup, just in case that hook were to break. So we're going to hook that up as well. So we got that all hooked up right there, and that's how we're going to actually draw our bow back. Like the chair out of the way here. So now with one hand on the bow, I'm going to bring this back over here. I'm going to engage my hook and turn my tab. Tighten that tab down so that can't, what the tab does is keeps your tooth from being able to pop up out of those gears. So I like this because I can see in there, I can see that that's engaged. It also has a nice solid strap on this thing. It's not a rope or anything like that, it's a nice solid strap. You can see I've got a little bit of twist into it from the way I hooked it up, but with this swivel head on here, I'm not going to have any torque on my string or anything like that. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the cable just to get the twist out of it so we're not pulling anything. Again, one hand operation, just like that, and we're loose. Take this off and give it a couple twists. Hook it right back up. Again, one hand, flip that back over. Just like that, we're ready to go. So, we're going to draw this thing back. This is also a really handy way to time your rest. See, just like that. Now I can stop. It's held into place securely here with my teeth. The bow's held in securely on this end. It's not going to break. It's not going to come loose, anything like that. I did not put my security carabiner on here, but that is something you're definitely going to want to do, is to put that carabiner on there at all times, just in case something were to happen with your D-loop or with your swivel hook. So I'm going to go ahead and let this thing up and re-pull. So with our carabiner in position, we're going to go ahead and try this again. Tighten that down. And if you find yourself in a position like I was just in, hook that carabiner up. This is a $1,000 bow, and we dang sure don't want to have something happen to our bow. So one hand operation, just like that. I use this also in my videos for determining the draw force curve of a bow. You see there, I could see when that was locked in and when that was not locked in, so I really like being able to see that. Continue to crank this thing back, and what I'm watching right now is I'm watching my draw stops. So I'm not going to pull past that point where the draw stops actually hit the limb on this particular bow. So just like that, my bow is now at full position. Take my hand off. I can time my rest. I can change my draw stops if that was something I need to do. I can check the cam lean on this bow. I can check the torque that it's putting onto my flex guard. I can do all the things we talked about now with this bow in this position. Now, to take this off, I'm going to simply put a little, at this point I can take my hand off the bow. To take this off, I'm going to put a little pressure on that tooth. Turn that gold knob. I got it really tight. And with the pressure off of that tooth, when you do that, make sure you got a hold of your handle, and nice and slow, I'm just going to start letting this thing back out and letting the bow back down. That's all there is to it. Now at this point we can go ahead and unhook everything. And we're done. Alright, so you can see this is a compact design. It's well thought out. Machining on this thing is excellent. And the bow that I drew back, and all the bows I've drawn back with this, have been in the 65 to 70 pound range. That bow was actually a 70 pound bow. But one thing I will say about it is you want your press bolted down and bolted down solid. I actually had to move it from my old table to this table because the old table just wasn't bolted down solid enough, which that's why you're getting to see my lovely background. But the old table just wasn't solid enough, so we bolted it down to this table to do it. So nice compact design, easy installation. All you got to do is pop your caps off of this on this particular press, slide it in there, and you're done. Same way down there. Doesn't take up any space in your shop. You can see there's my old drawboard, and that thing is 7 foot tall and took up tons of space. If you're a tuner, you're going to run into a time when you're going to need a drawboard, and this is an excellent one. And the price is excellent as well. I believe, don't quote me exactly on this price, but I believe this is $112 to $119. And why people always ask why I never mention the price, because I'm terrible with numbers. So that may not exactly be the price, but it's a little bit over $100. And for that price, man, there's a lot of these out there that are twice that cost or more. So this is an economical drawboard, and like I said, if you're a tuner, you're going to need a drawboard. This is economical. It's a great value for the money, and it's something that you're going to use a lot if you're like me. If you're working on, even if you're working on your own bows, in today's world, drawboard is an essential tool. And this is from archerydesigns.com, and we'll put the link below. But they also have one coming out with the term drawboard actually comes from being able to put this on a board, like a 2x12 or 2x8 or something like that. So he's actually coming out with one here pretty soon that you can actually bolt down to a board and use in the traditional manner if you don't have one of these presses here. So definitely check that out. Great product, and I know I use a ton of these, or will use this thing a lot. And if you're a tuner, you're going to use it a lot too. So definitely check this out. Archerydesigns.com. We'll put the link right below. For more product reviews, how-to videos, you can check out our website, ikesoutdoors.com. And to check out our hunting videos, you can check out our other website, which is huntwithike.com. Appreciate you guys watching.